you talking about? See me, you had me the baby.
There is the red light stating that we are live. Let me go to the page and then I'm going to tag you good folks. Let's see, live on the T. I'm sharing and give me 2 seconds, Fatin, because I know you're gonna say I don't see the tag.
No, I'm already on your page.
Okay. Fatin, it seems like you're sitting so far back.
You?
Yeah. Are you okay? I don't feel the love on the screen.
I like to show my whole shirt.
How you spell your name? How you spell your name, man?
Fatin.
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 Yes. With an N.
Got it.
Yes.
I see it, but I can't see it. It's so small, I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you must be on your phone. That's why.
Yeah.
Now he's on his phone. That's why.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we are live on this Friday. No, what is day?
Friday. Friday.
I wish it was Friday.
Listen.
What's wrong with it? Huh?
That's that cup. That's that tea she's supposed to be drinking.
Yeah. It has been a long day today. It's been a long day today. Yes. I'll get into it in a moment. Let's do my little, what do you call it? I can't even think right now. Just give me 19 seconds. I'll be back and my mind is going to be cleared. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, now see, there you go.
Ladies and gentlemen. Boop, boop.
You always laugh.
That was the introduction.
That's the introduction.
What the hell?
All right.
To the 30-second or whatever the promo was.
Yeah, she hooked it up. She'll hook it up. She gotta, get it together.
She get it back right.
I get it back right. That was just something like short and sweet. I just threw it together,
Yeah. It was nice.
Thank you.
It was a blur, but that's okay.
Thank you.
What? It was fast, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Boy,
what didn't Missy sing about a 6 minute? The 6 what is it? 6
minute
second
man.
man or something like that? 6
I think it's 6
6
minutes.
minutes. If he lasts that long,
But 6 minutes is a long time nowadays.
that's what the young folks working with. That's a damn shame. Don't get me started on that conversation. Don't get me started on that one.
Hey, that's what they say. 6 minutes is good for nowadays. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they ain't into all that now. They ain't into the music. They ain't into they just into being a rabbit and being high. That's it.
Yeah, in and out.
Is this how we
In and
start?
out, baby. That's it.
In and out.
In and out. No up and down and no like Bernie Mac say stir it like coffee. Stir it like coffee. They ain't doing that, bro.
Why? Lincoln,
Oh,
why?
hey Veronica, how you doing?
Oh, hey, Veronica.
This is like Fatin's cup of coffee. Like this is his lane.
Oh, yeah?
Like you start him there, he's going to continue to go until you shut him down.
Shut him
Okay.
down, baby.
All
Shut him
right.
down.
I'm new to this. Let's get it.
Settle down. Welcome to Taking Tea of Life. This is where we talk about any and everything. So glad to have all of you join us tonight. I'm your host, Veronica, back with you on this Monday. See, I'm all confused because normally, I do the show. We do the show on Tuesdays. It's a Monday. It's a new day. And it's like, Okay, anyway. Brother Fatin, all the way from WBLS radio station, New York, is back with us on this Monday night. And we do have a special, let me give you a bell. We have a special guest with us tonight, someone who I've been trying to get on for a very long time.
Yes.
Someone who is special and dear to my heart. We've been friends for so very long. So long.
Well, you can hold them up. See, I ain't knew that. Good job.
I can hold the notes. Cherry Grove Missionary Baptist Church Jubilee Choir. Lincoln is with us tonight.
Yeah, ring that bell some more. There you
All
go.
the way from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, yes.
You got to say that right. It's either ATL or Hot Atlanta.
Yeah, hot Atlanta. You got to put the
Atlanta. You got to say it right.
fingers down. Yeah.
Hot Atlanta.
Hot
Yeah.
Atlanta. Hot Atlanta.
Welcome.
And it's hot. It's hot Atlanta
Oh,
for real. It's dangerous right
I bet. We hear the stories.
Hot more ways than one. That's all I'm gonna
That'd
say.
be
We
another
do
show.
hear the story.
That's another show.
Yeah, that's definitely another show.
Lincoln, welcome. This is your first time on the T. So glad you.
Thank you.
Listen, it was a last minute thing. I thought about Lincoln because Lincoln actually worked with Tyler Perry before on some films, but we're going to get all into that. So I was like, you know what, my boy Lincoln, this would be a great time for him to come on the show.
Right.
And for other reasons as well. But welcome everyone. Hey Tori, keep the faith with Tori. Thank you so much for watching, and all of you who are joining us from YouTube, all of you who are joining us right here on Facebook, we appreciate y'all. We know that this is a new night. You know, we normally don't have shows on Mondays, but this is the new Tangy Tea of Life, and it's no telling. I may have a show on Monday. Excuse me, I may have a show on a Friday. I may have a show on a Sunday. It just whatever it is. We just had a hot movie to come out over the weekend, so we definitely wanted to jump on this topic really quick. But first of all, how was you guys' weekend? Y'all want to talk about it? We definitely want to tell the people, you know, give the people more of, you know, let the people know who you are, what you do, and all of that good stuff. So for T, we'll let you go first, my brother. How was your weekend?
I had to think back, and boy, I remember it was I don't remember.
I know you was in Darlington having a great time and did not invite your girl out.
Darlington. That was last night. No, it was Sunday night. Sunday. Oh, birthday party Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Birthday party. Yeah, my cousin Ava. Her birthday was Sunday. So, but we were watching the weather, so we wind up going over, and it was a nice little get together. You know, we're big in family down here, and it was a birthday party. And then we got together last night. And it's crazy because we got together, and my cousin decided to play some old school music, and it just hit. And even, you know, and then the kids had a sleepover. So it was like, you saw me a video, if you saw it online, it was like 12:40 in the morning, and kids is up and they celebrating and dancing and stuff like that. So we had a good time. So it kind of extended weekend, but you know, with family. So this has been a good weekend. Also, just want to give my cousin happy birthday. Ava, it's her 9th birthday yesterday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And she made the traveling all-star team. And I hate to say it, but they put a shellacking on Darlington Thursday and Fridays. 23-3, the first game, and then I don't know what the other one. They started out early, so we'll be in Columbia Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for an 8-year-old and a female, where I played baseball in my family, and I thought the tradition would be a male and boys doing it. I have my female cousins, 3, Nyla, Kayla, and Ava. Ava's the youngest, who just turned 9. Playing softball. So shout out to the young folks and their females. All right. And shout out to my cousin Tycee Fleming, who I'm hosting Juneteenth down in Pamplico. And when we get closer to that date, and we getting close, I'll talk about that probably next week.
All right.
Thank you, Veronica.
Yes, of course. Lincoln.
What's up?
Tell the folks about you and all the big things. You know, I'm so excited for you. I'm truly excited for you. You're doing big things all the way from Society Hill.
Yes.
Okay. Society Hill, but I'll let you tell the people about you.
So you're gonna tell people about myself or my weekend?
Your weekend. Well, however you want to do it.
Okay. Weekend, I didn't do nothing. I just caught up on rest.
That was quick.
Yeah. Right. I just want to get it out of the way. I ain't do a damn thing. I just caught up on rest. That's all. I was tired, man. You know, trying to work in film is a hard thing. You know, you're working 18 hours a day sometimes and 5 days a week. So yeah, That's it. You know, I'm here. I'm here in Atlanta. I'm here because God got me here, and I'm here for my passion. And I hope that everything goes as I planned it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So excited for you, like in these films. Like I said earlier, you work closely with Tyler Perry in some of his films,
Right.
and in other films that you have done in the past and planning on doing. So I was like, you know what, it'll be perfect for Lincoln to come on tonight because he knows that side of things when it comes to films and acting and all of that. And also you are a single parent yourself. So
Yes.
what we're going to be talking about tonight, which is on the movie Straw that everyone is talking about. So definitely wanted to come on and have that conversation right here on the show. Fatine, you seem very passionate about it. I know the post that you, when you actually watched the movie and you post about the movie and gave your thoughts on it. You're very passionate about it. Let me first say this. I made a post, and my post said something about the acting. I was like, this is horrible acting, I think I said. Let's be clear that I was not saying that the movie itself was horrible. I was saying that some of the acting was horrible in my opinion. Taraji P. Henson always puts it down, no question about it. She always bring 100 when she's doing a film. So definitely wasn't talking about her. It was just some. Let me tell you what.
This is the first time. This is the first time I'm hearing that. This is the first time I'm hearing that. I've been even with the criticism out there. I didn't hear that one.
This is my opinion. This is Thank you. This is Veronica's opinion.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Now, when I watched it twice, let me say that the first time I watched it, I was very sleepy. I was very irritated. Like I had the day was a little much, but I was like, oh, I gotta watch this movie. I was so waiting for it to come out. Let me go ahead and put on Netflix and turn it on. And it was late. It was like 10:30, 10:40, whatever at night. And I started watching it. I fell asleep on it, then woke back up and try to watch, the ending of it, fell asleep on that. So I was like, okay, this just is not it. Like I am a die-hard Tyler Perry fan. I even reached out to Link. I was like, hey, you think you can get me at Tyler Perry's studio? Like I want to visit that studio. So
yes, I can.
Yes, I want to get in there. But I am a die-hard Tyler Perry fan. But at first I was like, this ain't it. Like I get it, then I didn't get it. Like the police vest. Why are the police signs so huge on the vest? Like I was just picking every little thing out when I first watched it.
That's too much now, bro. That's too much.
Yeah,
that's too much now. The police signs. But you're right though. You got to see every little detail in the movie.
Yes, like I was very nitpicking that night. The next day, I watched it again. And I always say, and Fatine, you know that I always say that Tyler Perry, when he brings out a movie, you always get something out of the movie. It's always a meaning, and it's always deep. It's always what's the word? It's always
insightful.
No, like it's always behind something. Like a woman, like a lot of women can relate to that movie. A lot of women can relate the struggle.
All of his movies are like that.
Yes.
And I'm gonna speak about that when I speak.
It's very relatable.
He spoke about it.
So it was good to see, Sinbad in the movie. He gave him a shot, like all of these things. But I just wanted to say that I was not saying that the movie was bad. So that post that I post was not for that reason, but it was some bad acting in my opinion. And I'll get back more into that. But Fatine, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. So just want to say one thing to Link.
Yes, Tori, thank you.
Yeah. One thing to you, my brother. That's a big studio campus. I've never been there, but my friend, I grew up in Brooklyn. Her name is Fatima. She's a security personnel there at Tyler Perry Studios there. So between Link, you and Veronica know one another. So hopefully Veronica get a chance to go down there I just haven't been to ATL, and I said that's something that I'm trying to do this summer. Just this is hop, skip, and a jump, and just jump in my car.
So her name was Fatima?
Fatima.
She got dreads or braids or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah, I ordered the donuts right now.
Yeah. Yeah. She gets up early too. So for me, let me just say this. What got me on was Saturday morning. I woke up around 5:30 and I started seeing, I don't watch Netflix a lot. I watch it, but I don't watch it a lot. Mm-hmm. And I started seeing these comments come in about the movie. And as I started seeing the comments come in, it was more on Tyler Perry and liking him or not liking him, but not really much on the movie. A little bit on the movie. It was a couple of people that saw it Friday night and they were talking about their experience. So the first thing I said, you know what, 6 o'clock, I'm on that couch right over there. 6 o'clock, I started the movie and watched it. I listened to what some of the people said. And let me just say this. I haven't seen a movie that has captured the people, our people especially, have been passionate on social media in a long time. If you agree or if you disagree, the bottom line is people are passionate. It's not no one in my family that has watched that movie, including me, that there was a dry eye. When anybody can do a movie, and I'm passionate about this, and I'm gonna tell you why. When they can do a movie, and yes, Tyler talked about that he portrays women in sometime in a struggling way, because he said it, and I read it today, coming from Tyler's mouth. He said, my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, what they went through and what they endured. We can't forget the struggle that people have gone through. The reason why I took it home is because of struggle. We all possibly have had some type of struggle or know someone that has struggled in their life. That's what got me. For me, it hit home with my late wife, Hanifa, with sickle cell anemia, when she would go into sickle cell crisis, when the struggle of her trying to beat the crisis at home, not to get away from our daughters who were little at the time, the agonizing pain when she would go in the hospital and our daughters watching her suffer in pain to go into the hospital, them worrying if mommy would get back home. And there's so many people that go through struggles, Sister Veronica and Brother Lincoln. And I also noticed that some men, not a lot, but some men, because I had to debate some men, they seem to not be supportive of Tyler and Tyler movies and this type of depiction versus women who understands this Black woman's struggle. And there seems to be a disconnect between some of us Black men and our Black women out here. Not all, but some. And I'm ready to call them on the carpet. You know why? Because some of you men created the problem anyway. Not all the problems, but some of the problems. But for me, I was passionate, Veronica and Brother Lincoln, and to our audience, because of struggle. And I'm telling you, it brought back when I had a dispossessor on my door, when we didn't have food in the cupboard, when my kids went to bed hungry, when I didn't know, when I wasn't working and had to put the rent together, where I didn't tell people these things. That's why it touched me, because of struggle. And then to see a Black woman that has to do this, and then to understand mental health, not just Black women, Black men. We're in Black Men Mental Health Awareness Month. But for this woman to have a breakdown, I think her whole day went that she was in shock because she thought her daughter was alive. Her daughter had died that night. Until you walk in these people's shoes or understand what struggle is, that's why I was so touched by this movie.
And see, and that's the thing, though. A lot of people have not been down that struggle road, so they can't really relate to the movie. But I'm gonna let Link jump in. Link, what was your thoughts?
I was going to ask you the same question. Can you relate to the movie? Because all women don't struggle. And in some fields, in some places, there are women that's out there getting it with their kids and doing the right thing. It's all about choices. It's all about who you lay down with, who you have a baby from. It's all about what choices you make in life.
Yeah.
You know, it's about the choices you make in life that leads you to what you can be doing in the future. So if you make bad decisions at a younger age, it's going to carry on to your older age, and you can still working at Walmart. Not bad.
Link, I just want to throw one thing. I'm not going to cut you off. Just want to throw one thing. Tyler was a genius in this. He didn't present that. That never came out in the movie. There was never a presentation of a man doing wrong. It may not have been a man in her life, but there was never a presentation that she made bad choices. It was the system. Everywhere she turned, everything turned to shut her down.
She said it herself. She said she wished she had a baby daddy like a man like her. I wish her baby daddy was like that girl, her husband. So she admitted she made the wrong decision with that man in life.
Okay.
So, you know, it's bad choices in life. You know, it's all about, like you say, father. I'm a single father, and I raised my daughter by myself. So I made a bad decision in life. I picked the wrong child's mother. So that was in me in the situation. And I struggled. I did as a male, but we don't get the same help as females get. So, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, Tyler Perry is the genius to those things. He picks up on the struggle of women a lot. And but like Veronica says, who can relate to it if you're not in it?
That's right. Yeah. And Link, you said something that I had written down because I think that was Taraji said in the movie. She said, you have to be careful who you have a baby with.
There you go. That's what she said, exactly.
And that's so important. When she said, I was like, that's a mouthful right there. Because, you know, younger people in our we all been young before. We don't really think about who we're sleeping with at that time. Like, you could possibly get pregnant and have a baby from this guy. Am I ready? And do I really want this to be my child's father? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't think about those things. Not saying that we sleeping with this person, that person. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, at that moment, at that time, we're not thinking about younger. I'm talking about younger days. Who we're sleeping with. You know, it's just, I'm in love and, you know, I want to feel good. I want to feel special. I want somebody to be with, not really thinking.
We're rolling the dice. Well, we're rolling the dice. Some of us are rolling the dice when it comes down to this, because, you know, I don't want to sit here and say I was young and dumb. I mean, I did some things that wasn't cool, but, you know, unprotected sex and whatever. I wasn't getting anybody pregnant. I didn't even know if I could get somebody pregnant at first. So I was, you know, but then I come up in that HIV AIDS era. So we had to wrap it up. And I'm out of New York City, capital of HIV AIDS when that hit. So we had to wrap it up because no one wanted to go and suffer that ill fate of HIV AIDS at that particular time. Now you got people living with HIV AIDS and they're living pretty much a productive life because of the cocktail of medicine that they have out there. But yes, we do sometimes lay down with people and sometimes we do protect ourselves. And sometimes a condom does break or whatever, and it does happen. And then Brother Link and Sister Veronica, sometimes when we say we make bad choices, but when we make the choice at the particular time, because I had to listen to some women said some men sold them a bag of goods, meaning that the brothers had a good job, had a higher education, college or whatever. But as time went on, things grew apart. And sometimes we do make choices that at that moment tend to be good. But then as we get older, sometimes we drift apart or things happen in our life, and then we are less responsibility. Drugs come in, and you know, when I was, you know, I'm not talking about personal, but from the perspective that once you get hooked on drugs, sometimes you can't control that. You can't control that. You understand what I'm saying? So I agree. Sometimes we lay down with, if you're going to lay down with the drug dealer up the block, that's a damn bad choice. That's a damn bad choice. Yeah,
That's what they go
that's a
for.
bad choice. If you're gonna lay down with the woman that's on crack, that's a damn bad choice. You understand?
Mhm.
So let's talk about the struggles that was going on in this movie from start to finish. It was like she was struggling with everything. When it first started, what it was is she got kicked out the apartment. Then she got fired from her job, couldn't get
Accident.
her paycheck.
The accident.
Huh?
The accident. The police officer.
The
Answer with the police
accident,
officer.
yep, that part. That's why I be saying it is so important to be kind to people because you never know what they're going through. This girl been going through hell all day long, but she kept people that just didn't care what they were saying to her. She kept running into those folks that was not kind. Even the
Right.
manager, like you have someone working for you. She told him that she had to go to the school to check on her daughter. He cursing at her, making her feel lower than what she already, how she feel already. That right there, that pissed me off because I'm like, he's talking to her like she's trash. Like, dude, like she's telling you that she have to go check on her daughter. She have to give her daughter money or whatever it was, the $40 or whatever. He just didn't care. Only thing he cared about was her pushing those buttons at that cash register, which pisses me off. So the struggles that women and men, but since we're talking about women, Taraji in this movie, we as women, we try so hard, the strong ones I'm talking about, to keep stuff in, like don't want to ask for help. We try to do everything on our own, some women, and it's just making it worse for us because we don't want to ask for help. Taraji was going through all this stuff, all this pain, and then she didn't have anyone to lean on. Family wasn't there. She didn't have friends. The lady, Shepard,
One in the grocery. Oh, well, you say Sherry Shepherd in the band.
Sherry,
She had one friend in the grocery store. She had one friend.
Oh
in the
yeah,
grocery
that one
store.
friend. So it's so important. But the struggles, let's talk about the struggles of single parents.
Yeah, let me just say this.
Go
Let me
ahead.
just say this real quick, Link, because I want to hear what you have to say as being a single parent, because I had my wife till a couple of years ago, so we raised our children till they were grown, even with her struggle with sickle cell. You mentioned about struggles. We talked about struggles, and you mentioned, Veronica, that everybody may have not struggled and may not relate. I'm gonna be a hard ass tonight. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And I'm gonna prove my point by just looking at you.
Okay.
You may not know that struggle, but the decency in you, if you can't be empathetic means you can understand another person's struggle because you've been through something the same or similar. You can empathize. But if you can't empathize, where's the good decency in your heart as a good person to sympathize with a person, to say, wait a minute, this person day after day after day is catching hell. Why can't I have a good word to say? Why can't I lend a helping hand? I don't want to hear, because you have, not you here, I don't want to hear that crap from nobody that said, I may not know struggle, but you can't be sympathetic to somebody that is going through struggle. Where's the good decency? If we're talking about being good people and bitch and moan about people robbing and stealing and people staying on the straight and narrow, then where's the good decency in your heart to sympathize with somebody that is going through a struggle that you may not understand, but understand the good decency and the good qualities in the human you want humankind to be, is to understand, or at least to say, look, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but I know you're going through something because I can see the pain. You saw the pain soon as this movie started to the end. The pain on this woman's face. You know when people were going through hell, and you saw that this woman was going through hell.
Well, I mean, that's true. You could see it in Taraji, but you can't see pain in everybody. Sometimes people have a wall up, and they're gonna front when they leave out their door. They're gonna front like they have it all together, but inside they're torn apart.
I told you that when I came on here. As a man, getting a dispossessed at 30, 32. I got 2 babies. I got a sick wife. Yeah, I'd put up a wall because at the end of the day, I have an image to uphold. So my pride, my ego as a man is going to put up that wall. But you know what? That's what broke me to break down and watch that movie, because those struggles, I remember when I had to cry in the dark. I had to cry in the dark. The miscarriages that Hanifa had, she physically went through that. She physically went through the miscarriages, but that was still our child that died, that never made it to be a human being. And that's why I cried watching this movie, because of the past struggles that I've been through and other people's struggles, and being able to relate.
See, I think society makes men look tougher than what they are. And as men, we got to live that tough life. We got to live that tough road, like you said. You got to be the strong guy. You got to take care of everything. You can't go run and tell, hey, I need help. I need some food. I need food. I need something. It's hard for a man to go get assistance. It'll make them feel weaker as a man. Like, even with child support for my daughter's mom, I wouldn't do it because I felt like it'd make me weaker to get help from her. So as men, we don't look for that type of help. But as women, they have that help. So, you know, and I understand what you're saying. It's not that we're not going to be, what you said, that we were against people who were, that we didn't understand the struggle that was going through.
So if you haven't gone through the struggle, you can't empathize with them. But at least you, as a good, decent citizen in person, you can sympathize with them.
Right.
Have some kind of compassion. Where's the compassion and concern in your heart for someone that is going through that's going through something at that moment?
Right. But just because someone doesn't go through it doesn't mean they still don't have the compassion for them.
Right.
So I mean, I see a lot of people going through stuff. I still compassionate for them. I still empathize with them. You know, I still try to help them out as much as I can. Give them a good word, like you said. You know, just because we don't see it that way, don't mean we treat it that way.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, like going to what Link just said, just because we didn't cry, you know, because I saw people post where they're saying they cry from the beginning to the end. Some people were saying I didn't share a tear. You know, everybody had different opinions about the movie, which is fine because everybody's not compassionate about other people's feelings. Some people are compassionate about other people's feelings. Like Link say, just because like we didn't go through that particular struggle that she went through in the movie doesn't mean that we wasn't compassionate about what she went through. But everybody's not the same. Everybody's not going to feel sorry because somebody's going through something. Should they? I can't tell someone how to feel, but I know I'm going to feel a certain way. If I know someone is struggling and going through something, definitely going to feel heartbroken.
So what causes, you know, it's certain circumstance. That's why I said there's a disconnect sometimes, Sister Veronica or Brother Lincoln. It's a disconnect. And what made me think about this is I was in New York City on 9/11, 2001. And when that happened, I saw the unity. For the next month, I just saw the unity amongst people, black, white. You know, we got racism and racial issues and whatever. I just saw the human side come out. I would talk to police officers and people that would get stopped on 95 and had New York plates or New York license and get a pass because of compassion and empathy or sympathy of what New York went through and other places through 9/11. And I think that sometimes when it's a large pain, we're drawn into it. But when it's something like even just looking at Taraji P or your next door neighbor, sometimes we are disconnected. And I'll prove that point. Watch the news. And when you see nothing but guns, people getting shot and happening in our community, what happens? You will say, oh, that's bad. It's sad. But you move on. It doesn't stop you. It doesn't make you say, you know what? I need to contribute to try to make something different out here. So sometimes we all become numb to other people's pain, or we're also going through our own struggles that we can't even take their pain on because we have our own issues that we're dealing with. And that's why I'm saying, where is the human side? We keep saying that we have to get better as a people and as a society, but how do we get better if we don't have some type of compassion for other people and concern?
Right. I think everybody should have compassion. I think that's something that the world should give each other to make the world a better place, like you said. So,
yeah. Good luck with that.
I know,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's rough out here.
Right. So Yvette says, I think you can form your own opinion. It wasn't about Tyler. It was about the act that has happened and her doing the wrong thing. I thought she was doing the wrong thing, but she wasn't doing the wrong thing. So just watch it. Number 2 for the second time. Just watch. Not exactly sure what Yvette is saying. Who was doing the wrong thing? Taraji was doing the wrong thing? What was she saying? And I guess she's saying that she had to watch it a second time.
Because I don't see Taraji, you know, like I said, understand. Remember, a lot of us are watching this movie. A lot of us are watching this movie and not really picking up what really happened to the daughter. We're not even understanding the mental health issues that she's going through. This is about the struggle of a Black woman, but also a breakdown, a nervous breakdown. She was broken.
Yeah.
She was so broken. There was a person that explained this so well, that she was so broken that she believed that things were normal. That's how broken she was. That's what her mind played on her. That her daughter was in the bed with her. She was bathing her daughter because that was the routine that she was usually in. So when she got up that day, she went through that cycle. We didn't see that towards the end when the mother said, the daughter died last night. And then they took you back and showing you her getting up during the day, walking outside like she's, you know, the child is walking with her, opening the car door, but no one's getting in it. That's when we started saying, wait a minute. We might have missed something here. That child had already died, and we didn't even know that.
See,
And
I was lost at the end. I was lost. And then how did Sherry know that the baby died? When did she get that phone call? When did they tell her the baby died? I'm still lost with that. Like,
I don't know.
To me was
I don't know. That's something that I have to go back to.
I asked TP
because
about it when I run into him.
Please.
yeah, I don't know, and I don't want to speculate. But remember, she's a branch manager, and and I just don't know when that came up. But there's one thing we're not talking about, and that is what's her name? I always mess up her name. It's not Tatiana. What's the other?
I know you're talking about with the bad wig.
Well, I ain't gonna sit here and criticize the bad wig.
I mean, it was bad wig.
I'm into substance here. I'm not worried about the bad wig. I'm worried about
That's one
what she played, what her role was, and I
Tiana
think
Taylor?
that Tiana Taylor.
Yes.
Tiana Taylor's role was so important, even stronger than Sherry's. But Sherry's was powerful as well. But Tiana Taylor was that bridge. She started picking up because she's been through struggle. She went through some of these things. She didn't just sympathize with this woman, she empathized. And then with the brother, her partner, not being able to understand, I'm glad Tyler put that in there, not to beat up the brother. He didn't understand that. But she understood that.
To me, it sounds like you're saying somebody has to go through something in order to understand other people.
No. What I'm saying is, no. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, it took someone that has went through that is on the authority side to say, wait a minute, we all are looking at this one way, and if we all look at this from a police way, she's guilty. Mm-hmm. But if we look at it from, wait a minute, she was put out of her house. A child is a sick child. Remember when they interviewed Sinbad said in the wheelchair, if y'all don't know who Sinbad is, that she was a good mother.
Yeah.
So this officer's like, wait a minute. This may be a bad day for her. Yeah, she shot the guy, but maybe she wasn't part of that robbery. And that's why I'm saying that I'm not saying because somebody has to understand someone. I'm saying someone that, remember, we was dealing with authority. And when authority looks at it, and you got to realize, I just had the Central Park Jogger 5 on my show last week, sorry. And these guys got railroaded and nobody wanted to believe them, but we did because there was no DNA evidence. So sometimes you have to have somebody to say, wait a minute, I need to think outside the box. It may not, what is being presented to us may not be every step of what we're saying.
Mm.
That's why I think her role was very important in this movie.
It was. It did bridge the gap between the story, and she showed that she tried to help.
Yeah.
And,
because she could relate to it.
yeah, because she could relate to it. But you know, in those situations, if you broke the law like that, I mean, what does trying to help go do for you?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not going to help at all.
Mm-hmm.
You said trying to go get help?
She was trying to help her and guide it, you know, help her out in the situation. But just her is not going to resolve the issue of what she already had done.
Right. And not with those other people like the FBI that was trying to knock it down. Like he was trying to go in there and kill the girl without even trying to fully understand the situation. Like he was not even trying to give her a chance. Oh, it's been 12 hours. We got to go in there, do what we got to do. Like he was trying to like really. And I feel like things would have went really bad if he would have got in there. But I got all confused. I know now that she was daydreaming or dreaming, whatever, that they came in and they shot her. But what was the ending to this? Did she survive? Did she die?
She survived.
The baby is really dead.
Yeah, the baby's dead.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why I said this is about mental health. We can't get past this. And when I broke this down, Lincoln, and I don't know this part, but I explained this to my cousin when she asked the same thing with why did Tyler put the point of her getting shot at the end? This is just my opinion now. This is my opinion. My opinion was there is some people that lose it and they have nothing else to live for. So what they do is they commit what is called homicide by doing something that causes them to get killed. I've seen this before. I've seen people with guns and they tell them to put it down and they say, shoot me. And then they point the gun at the cop and the cops will shoot them and kill them. That's a certain type, because that's mental insanity. You lose it to the point. That's why I'm saying we can't talk about this without looking at her mental health.
Yeah.
That her mental health in this. And at the end of the day, she has nothing. She has nothing. You know, even though she believed that her child was gone, in her subconscious, she knew that that baby wasn't there. She had nothing left to live for. So you know what? Let them come in and kill me. I have nothing else to live for.
So do you think having a support channel would have helped?
Having a what?
Support channel.
Mm.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think that if she would have had a support channel, I think, first of all, she wouldn't have went through it all by herself. Right. I think that there would have been able to be some kind of communication and put some kind of plan in place and work with all these dynamics that she was dealing with. But she was dealing with all these dynamics by herself. And the system doesn't help you. You know, I look at the way the school system, if your child falls down in the house and they go to school, they got to report that if they see a bruise on a child. But that may be something normal. I saw where my wife and her friends have sickle cell disease, and the doctors want to treat them all because of their vitals the same. It's called textbook, and you can't look at every situation as a textbook. Every situation is different. And that's when you said, Veronica, about the police, when the FBI came in, that guy came in with one thing on mind.
Yeah.
This went on too long. We going in there. We're gonna storm in there, and we're gonna take control of this.
Yeah.
That's my job. What sister did is through her training in the army, she related to the young lady, got her to trust her, got her to get some of the hostages were released. She was getting results out of it. And it shows you in the movie that when you start to work with people and start to understand them, you can possibly get better results at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, going through everything that she went through in one day, that did happen in one day, right? Like all of this took place in one day.
It took him for one day, but it was,
Started
but
the
it
night
shows
before.
us, right.
It started the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
but
when her
Carol
daughter died.
Yep, that's when it started.
So
took her
all of
daughter
this
to them.
going on, it definitely will play with someone's mental health. Like, who can really go through that much at one time? You lose your place where you live. You lose your job. You lose your child. Back it up. You're accused of killing 2 people. That's a lot for anybody mental health. Like, I feel like it was a lot going on in this movie. It was a lot. That's why a lot of people are saying that they couldn't watch the movie because it was too much for them to take in. Do y'all feel like he put too much in that movie? Like, just crammed too much in it at one time?
I guess he was
it went perfect. Go ahead.
I don't think he cracked. I think it's what it's called shock and awe. It's shock and awe. I think it was a bit much, but I think that, as you said, Veronica, and as you, Brother Lincoln, said, we all look at it through our own eyes, our own lens. So when we all look at it through our own eyes and our own lens, we also bring our own experiences. So when you do this shock and awe, bam, and you put all this in front, we all get a little bit of something from this. So yeah, it was a bit much because a lot of people, like Sister Tori said, she was triggered. She couldn't because of past experiences. You understand? So that's why, yeah, I will say he put a little extra in there, and I said that, but I think that he was trying to pull on the heartstrings of people in some way of touching them so that there could be some type of relation that you can get something to understand the struggle of a Black woman, to understand the breakdown, and to understand the mental health challenges that our folks, especially our Black women, but all folks, but especially our Black women are going through.
Mm-hmm. So let me get to these 3 comments. Link, did you have something to say?
Oh no, he pretty much touched on it.
Okay.
Thanks, Link.
Yeah.
So Mr. Sammy says the only thing she did wrong was killing her boss, but he was a complete asshole. Geneva, wait, I don't think I said that right. Yes, you are correct. Due to all the hardship in her life, she experienced a nervous breakdown. And to be honest, if you haven't struggled, you wouldn't understand the depths of it. Yeah, it's a lot. Tristan, June being Mental Health Awareness Month, this would have hit different if Tyler made the leading role a male. And let's go with that. Let's say if it was a male, would this movie got this huge uproar as it have if this was a leading role of a male? No,
it won't be viewed the same because movies are about struggle, and he really showed the struggle of that woman, what got her to her situation. He had to portray that, like earlier we was talking about. It was a lot going on, but he had to portray it was that much going on in her life where she had to do those things. But like I said earlier, men are looked at differently. We're not going to be in the same era as a woman struggling, as a man struggling. We're just not. They're not.
So let me jump in here on this one because I agree with you, Link, to a degree, and I'm gonna tell you why. This world right now don't respect they don't respect Black people in general, but they elevate a Black woman over a Black man. They've been trying to destroy. They're trying to destroy all of us as black folks, but they'll destroy a black man first because he's supposed to be the head of that household. He's supposed to be that leader. He's supposed to be that strength. He's that strength. When you break that strength, you break that chain. You understand? The reason why I say you're right is that you wouldn't get the type of sympathy if it was a black man.
Right.
I'm gonna prove something. I'm gonna show you where race is. Take the movie Rain Man. Take the movie Rain Man. White man with what? Mental health challenges became a phenomenal, came a box office hit, made millions of dollars because this white man had mental challenges and people became sympathetic and empathetic with him. But if it's a black man, they can't understand because of the barriers that this society here of racism that it has on us. Now, will it have an effect on us as black people? I don't know, but I'll tell you this, just to watch the social media comments from men and women, there's a barrier. I said this at the beginning of the show. There's a breakdown and a breakdown between black men and black women. That's why we don't communicate very well.
No.
We don't communicate very well. So yes, there would not have been the same kind of outpouring love. It might have been some understanding, but not the way if this would have been a leading black man. No,
Right.
No way.
So Fatim, I'm gonna throw this back at you. So, and let me first say that men do have feelings too, and we have to realize that.
Please do.
Because a lot of things that we talk about, like Link said, we expect men to be strong and not show their emotions and, you know, not ask for help because they're supposed to be the man. But we have to realize that you all do have feelings as well. But Fatim, I'm gonna throw this back at you because, you know, you always say that folks give Tyler Perry a hard time when he makes these types of movies. So you just made a point that, you know, the black race struggles and all the stuff that you just said. So do you think that you just proved the point of some people that always give Tyler Perry a hard time about these types of movies that he makes and showing the struggles of our people?
I think, yeah, the reason why Tyler Perry, and not only Tyler Perry,
But
not only Tyler Perry, but what happens is black folks that, you know, where we have dealt with so much from slavery and the civil rights movement, and then to see us make it in so many professions, to see us elect a black man as a president of the United States, some folks are just tired of slavery movies. They're tired of struggling movies. They want to see some more productive movies to say it's not always about struggle. And I do agree with that. But you also got to respect Tyler's lane. If that's Tyler Perry's lane, just like Spike Lee, I worked for Spike Lee before. I know Spike Lee. And Spike Lee had a lane. Spike was trying to get you to identify with what he dealt with racism. And he dealt with other issues and he put them in those movies that he did. He followed his lane. But yes, Veronica, I think that we as black folks, we're monolithic. We're not all struggling. We don't always want to see a struggling movie. And then when you see a black man like Tyler Perry, and then some black men don't like to see a man in a dress because a lot of people say, why can't you still be a black man? Why do you have to become successful by putting a dress on? So these are legitimate issues that some black men bring to the table. And I think we should listen to them. We should listen because that's how they feel. And the image of the black man is torn down so many places that I can see why some black men and other black people want to see more than struggling movies out there.
Well, when it comes to Tyler Perry, that's his bread and butter. Bread and butter, the struggling.
That's his lane.
That's his lane. Like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's going to stay in that lane no matter what. And his new projects that are coming out now, they're all dealing with struggle. Like I said, it's a new project airing starting tonight, matter of fact, but it's airing tomorrow on the 10th. It's called Divorce Systems. and that's also a struggle show. So that's his lane, and he's doing well. And like I said earlier, if this ain't broke, don't fix it. He's going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
Even though people don't even like it, he's going to continue to do it.
Right. And because I mean we pretty much know his story of when he was, being raised, like it was a struggle when he was coming up. So he's sticking with what he know and how he was brought up. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't change it if I was him.
I even made suggestions like one time.
Huh?
I even made a suggestion like one time, he should do some horror movies. And then everybody was like, no, that's his lane. That's what he knows. That's what his life is about.
And he did do a little comedy horror movie.
What was it?
That ain't a horror movie, man.
I said a comedy. I said
That
some
one ain't
You
comedy.
can't even do that. You can't even do a little comedy. You can't even use your hand like that whenever
You know how to roll.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
how to roll. But Tyler
I was
said,
a little afraid in that for that. I was a little afraid,
He was scared.
just a little.
Really?
yeah. Tyler said right here, which I read, Tyler Perry reacts to the critics saying his content is only about the struggle of Black women, which I said in the beginning of the show. That's right. It does. I get to put Black women on the screen in love, happiness, joy, and pain. And he does. He does. And he does. You look at, what is that Married movie with Jill Scott and all them?
Why'd I get married?
Yeah, why did I get married? Why did I get married too? He puts out different movies and it deals with the Black experience. It does deal with the Black experience. Some people I guess they get tired of that lane, but I just give the brother credit for putting our people back to work, giving these people jobs like yourself, Lincoln. I applaud you.
He keep me busy. He keep me
He
busy.
keeps you busy, my brother. He keeps
What?
my friend Fatima busy that's working at the studio down there in ATL. He casted Sinbad, who had a stroke some years back. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying when we want to criticize people, you criticize, you talk a lot of crap, but you ain't got a job to put nobody in out there at the end of the day.
Keep my mouth shut. He paid me, so I'm just shutting up. I'm just listening.
Right. Don't you say anything bad about him.
Nah. I mean, I can have my opinion on the movie, but as far as Tyler Perry as who he is as a person and how he does the movie, he does his thing. When you don't say with him, he can be Madea 1 second, he can be mean ass the next second.
Yeah.
But that's him. He's real strict. And if you don't know your lines, he'll tell you.
Yeah. I can believe that.
Yes. The most stuff you see is him telling people to say it. Like he make up stuff off the top of his head, like, hey, no, say this, say it like this. So most of the stuff you see on that movie, he's telling people to say it. Right there. Yeah.
Right then and there.
Right then and there.
I so want an acting gig.
You can. It's there. I better come on up here. Come on up here.
Okay. So let's see. It was a bit much, but there are people who deal with the same or similar situations. It's coming from Jeffrey. Situation daily, but not broadcast. Right. It was a bit much. I mean, it was a lot for some people to take in. Like I said, Mr. Sammy says this movie was different than most of Tyler movies. For once, he didn't bash Black men.
Y'all can see that? Them boys so small.
Well, yeah, I'm on actually a computer.
Oh, okay. My glasses on.
Veronica asked Lincoln, has he had his straw moment or day, and how did he handle it? That's a great question.
I had a strong year. So yeah, it was like that. Like you said, brother, I got evicted one time before with my daughter. I missed out on a lot of money. But all of those because of choices that I made. If I didn't make those choices, I would have been evicted. I wouldn't have lost material items that I had and stuff like that. So like I said, sometimes it's choices, and I put myself in those choices, and I thank God I was able to make smarter decisions in life. So yeah, it was moments. I had to give everything to God, because it was so much frustration and so much on me that I couldn't even handle it. It's only 2 people in my life that know the struggle I've been through. So with raising a daughter by myself, it was rough. It was rough.
And for me, in the latter part of my life where I had more control over my life, there were some choices that were bad choices that put me in a tougher situation. But But when your parents raise you and put into you, and then your father, my father, is dying of colon cancer. He's in one hospital in Brooklyn, New York. My mother, I'll just say weird that. So just my father was in St. Mary's Hospital. They closed that hospital. My mother was in Kings County at the same time. My mother they transported my mother to see my father on a Thursday. My mother gets discharged on a Friday. My father passed on a Sunday. My mother has a nervous breakdown. I am 22. I'm doing my job. I'm working at Billboard magazine. I got to do my father's super job. 3 apartment buildings, 4 floors, and 5 stores. I got to do his job and my job at 22 years old. That's not something, a decision on me. Luckily, my aunt said that she would step in and help me and assist me with my mother. So I know what straw is. I'm glad my mother was able to rebound from the nervous breakdown, get her own apartment, and live until she passed. But before she passed, I met my wife. I didn't know a damn thing about sickle cell anemia. Had to learn it. Had to see her go through a crisis the first time. Lose my mother, and before my mother passed, my wife was pregnant. So they say when you lose one, you get one. Well, my mother died, and shortly after, my wife miscarried. 5.5 months, baby dies in her stomach. She got to push out a dead baby. She got to give birth to a dead baby. That's not, you understand? So I know what straw moments are. I know what straw moments that I don't have control, and I know straw moments when I made bad decisions with money or the other decisions out there. So that's why I said, and that's why I'm very passionate about this movie, because I've lived this life. It's not a day, it's not a month. Me and Hanifa was together for 32 years, and I was with my parents longer. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you go through these things, it hits you differently.
And not taking away of anything you just said, Fatim, because that was heartfelt. But just think now the difference between you and Taraji's role in the movie. You said your aunt was there to help you. She had absolutely no one. Well, she thought she did. I mean, the friend, but the way she seemed like she was all alone. Just imagine all of these people out here in this world, not even talking about the movie right now. I'm talking about real life people that are going through things.
You'll be broken, like, Veronica.
Really going through things and are alone and don't have no one to turn to.
You'll be broken because I'm talking about my parents and my aunt. That's just with my mother. My aunt also helped with my father. When my father took his last breath, my aunt was in that room. I was there. I walked out the room when I saw my father's breath go from his stomach to in his chest. I walked out. That's how we as a family and still family today. But with Hanifa's in the hospital with Staphylococcus. Her blood is poisoned from this bacteria. It throws it into her lungs. She has staph pneumonia now. I get the flu. Then my kids get the flu. But because of our support network, I had a support network. Because I'm going to tell you now, that's why I said it brings me to tears. I would have been broken, y'all, if I didn't have the support. Hanifa was not a jealous woman. She let females come in our house and stay in our house to take care of our babies when they were little, when she was in the hospital and I had to be to work at 6 a.m. and then come home and deal with her. Oh, I didn't even mention when she was in the hospital and my baby was in another hospital. I leave her hospital 10 in the night and I have to go to another hospital in Long Island and stay with my baby girl. I don't talk about that. While my oldest daughter has to stay with a neighbor. I know what struggle is. And I didn't complain because I had a support mechanism. And I prayed and I believed in God.
That's one thing you got to do. But I got a question though. Since we got this new word called straw moments now, when do you let all the stuff go and give it to God in your life when all the stuff is happening? And when do you continue to allow it to take it to that place where she went to? So When does that thermometer break you? How much does it have to take to break you, think?
That's a really great
That's a good question. I think that when you give it, when you give it, like I said, I prayed. I never said I gave it to God.
Right.
Because I felt that I pray. Right. I didn't give it all to God. I believe then that if I took 2 steps to God, God takes 10 steps to me. But I still had to do the work. I can pray, but I still have to do the work. I think that sometime when there is no other place and you are that person that is believed totally in your faith and you give it to God, you give it, but you still got to do the work. So she still had to do the work. She still had to bathe her daughter. She still had to go to school. She still had to go to work. She still had to do those things. And with no support mechanism, she never got chance to breathe. Remember, people tell you to take a moment, take a breather, woosah moments. You got to take a break. She never even had a woosah moment. She never even had a point where she could meditate because it was a vicious cycle from sun up to sundown and repeated the next day over and over and over and over. That beats you down mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. That's what breaks you. And that's what makes you get a nervous breakdown. And it's hard to come back from that.
Right.
If you don't have support and get the proper help for that.
But back to Link question. When? See, we pray. A lot of times we pray, but we still worry. We ain't giving it to God. Because when you fully give it to God, you pray and you give it to God.
Forget about it.
You forget about it. Right. You ain't worrying about it because you didn't give it to God. God is in control over it now. God, I give it to you. It's out of my hands. But a lot of times we don't do that because, like I say, we'll pray, but we still worry about the situation that we just prayed about and ask God to help us come through it, whatever the storm is. So when do we give it to God? That's a great question.
It is a great question. The reason why I can't answer it, Link, because I've never totally given anything to God, even being a person that believes. I just never did. I never had to just like give it and not worry because I worry. So I know that maybe my faith is not as strong as it maybe should be. See, a lot of times we just don't want to admit these. We say these things as cliche quotes. I give it to God. I do this. But do we really understand what Veronica just said? Give it and not worry. There's some out there, just like somebody just say, bro, I don't know, that Littles says, bro, you have to totally surrender. I understand that. That's easy to say. To do is another thing. And that's the whole thing. And for me, I can't say there that I have that faith.
Yep.
I have that total faith like that because there is some doubt in the back of my head. And when you have some kind of doubt, you can't give it up. Some people can. And then when you give it to God, because I always say this, Link and Veronica, if there's 2 hospital rooms and you give it, and each person give it to God, this person survived, this person died. The person that died, the person said, well, I gave it to God. God didn't answer my prayers. See, this is real what we're dealing with, y'all. And we can't be dealing with these cliche statements. That's why I deal with religious people harshly, because I'm tired of hearing cliche statements if you don't understand what it really means and understand how to really walk that walk. You talk that talk, but a lot of you don't walk that walk.
Right. I mean, I can agree with you. I have been a person who said, give it to God and still worried about it. And it has been situations where I gave it to God and just gave it to God and situation change,
Right.
It's all about what you say. You got to do the right thing. You say it, mean it. If you'll give it to God, give it to God and move on with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that was a good one. That was a good question. That was a good one. That was a good one. It's a good one. I like to think, y'all. I really do. And that's another thing is this movie causes you to think. It really causes you to think.
Well, and it causes you to think, not, causing you to think because you've been through those struggles. It also causes you to think like people around you, or, struggles to come. But you think about people that, may be struggling in silence. You think about people that, have went through struggles back in their time. Like you just share something with us. You share something I didn't know, some of the things that you just shared, Fatine. Link, you and I, we've talked about some struggles, but it's things like hearing stories now that this movie came out is like, wow, didn't know that you went through that. Or like someone that's struggling right now while we're talking and don't have anyone to turn to, sitting there struggling in silence. A lot of people don't want to share that because there are some a-holes out here that don't care, like the boss that was in the movie, like the FBI agent that was in the movie, don't care about no one's feelings. That's why the other day I was at the grocery store. I was at Food Lion. And y'all know I love to make videos, and I started to make a TikTok on this one. But everybody I smiled with in that store did not smile back. I was like, well, is everybody having a bad day today? Like, what is going on? And I know everybody is not chipper and bubbly as I am. Like, I don't meet a stranger. And y'all heard me say that before. Like, I can hold a conversation in the grocery store with someone like I knew them for years.
Great energy.
Thank you, Lincoln. I try to have great, and even if I'm having a bad day, like I'm one of those people where you will not know it because I'm going to walk out this door like nothing is going on.
So does that go back to choices?
Huh?
Does that go back to choices?
Back to choices. That is a choice. That is a choice to make. Either you're going to be angry your entire life for no reason, or you're going to be chipper, happy, because what? You're breathing. But I'm saying, like, there was people in the store and everybody had a frown on their face. Everybody was looking angry and mad. No, I don't know what they was going through. But can somebody smile? Like, there's so many, there's people in the hospital can't even talk, can't move on their own. Like, if we think about stuff like that, I feel like
we
it makes you feel a little better.
We don't.
I mean, even though it's a bad thing, it makes you feel a little better.
Yeah. And I'll just say this, Veronica. That's what I'm saying. You're saying things that you just don't realize tonight. And let me just say this. And I saw one of my friends on, and I'll say this. You said to me just now, that some of the things I shared with you, you didn't even know. And when I say some things, sometimes I try not to get emotional. Sometimes we bottle things up, and sometimes other folks don't know what we have gone through or going through. And sometimes they can't relate. This is where this gets a very difficult part, Veronica and Brother Link. You could have people in your life that can't relate or understand some of the things you go through. So when you say some things like, hey, I want to spend time, or I need that conversation, they look at it from their eyes, not understanding what maybe I need. See, what I'm trying to say is a lot of times, especially us that are givers, we don't receive the way we give. And a lot of times us givers don't say what we need, but we put out hints. And then when we don't get it back, we build up that wall. But as we're building up that wall, it's getting higher and higher and higher. And it hurts. That's why when you said you suffer in silence, I admit it. I can admit it. This is Black men, male mental health awareness month. I've suffered in silence.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of suffering in silence at the end of the day. Sometimes I don't want to be in this house by myself. That's why sometimes I want to do things.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I do so much. I'm on radio. I'm dealing with this issue, that. I'm dealing with my daughters. I'm dealing with this. When do somebody pour the back into me?
Man, I'm thinking you on vacation, bro. We gotta go someplace. You gotta get out of the house.
Right.
You gotta get out of the house, bro. We'll get you out of the house.
Yeah, we all should go somewhere.
Yes.
Let's hang out.
Need a break, bro.
Hey,
I'm
Fatima,
telling you,
let's
man.
Let's go to ATL. We'll go there for.
But I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious because these are the things that you go through. But then when you say it to other people that don't understand it, they're looking at it from their eyes and not your eyes. That's why communication is so important. But even if you communicate, and if there's a blockage, when I say a blockage, an understanding blockage, because some people may not have gone through this or went through that in life, they can't understand or relate. That's why in relationships, I don't want to turn this to the corner, but that's why sometimes when we get in relationships and our mate is not relating or trying to understand, we turn to somebody that is going to be supportive. And when they lend a supporting ear, a supporting word, or any other type of support, sometimes we gravitate to it. It may not be the right decision, Link, but that's how it is, because sometimes we get tired of giving and not receiving.
Well, can I ask a question?
Please do.
Why do you think she was in this situation?
You asking me or Fatim?
Both of you guys.
Oh.
What you think made her get in this situation? Why do you think she was already late with her rent, already behind on things, having those troubles, having those days? What do you think caused those things from your point of view?
I think my opinion is you said something, Link, that I didn't hear when she said about the baby daddy. I didn't hear that. So when you said that tonight, I had to listen to what you said because I didn't hear that part. But even with that, just looking at society, you know, it makes and breaks a lot of us. A lot of us with choices, as you said. I was blessed. I went to high school, I went to college, and I've been able to find jobs and be able to further my career. Right. I think there's some people that some of their choices put them in a position that they're always behind the 8 ball. And I think in her situation, she was always behind the 8 ball. I can't really give you a real answer of why she was in that position, but she was in a position that she could not see her way out. She had a dead-end job that made just about so much money. She was behind in the rent. She had a daughter that had seizures, and it just was a vicious cycle, and she couldn't find a way out of it. And that's what happens with society, with some people in society, that they get in a vicious cycle. Like some people say, well, why do people stay on public assistance? I would say welfare, but that's the whole public assistance because it's a vicious cycle and it's a pattern. A lot of times we as people stay in patterns and think that we can't get out of that struggle. We feel that we have to struggle. We have to be poor. Some people think like that. That's our mentality. My mother and my grandmother was poor. They didn't have much, so I don't really have to have much because they got by. They were able to live to 80 and 90 years old with very little, so I should be able to do that.
See, that's what I'm getting at, because I grew up no running water, no bathroom, no nothing. And for
generational trauma, brother. That's the word. Generational trauma. Right. We take generational trauma with us sometimes.
Right. But you can't take it with you if you want to progress.
That's correct. You can't. You got to break the chains. You got to break the chain of generational trauma.
So it's a choice that you make. If that's the choice, that's the life you choose you want to stay in, you're going to stay there. People who's in the hood, who's in the projects, I mean, it's hard to get out, but it's certain choices you can make to get out.
Yeah.
So I think that movie was all about the choices she made and all the choices she made in life. But yeah, stuff started happening, but the choices she made result in the end result of what happened.
Exactly. And that's what I was telling my friend, Veronica, real quick. I was telling my friend who's younger, I'm like, you are in a position of power right now. You may not see it, but I'm telling you, you are in a position of power that in the next 8 to 10 years, you may not have to work for somebody because you have a good credit score. You can do this and do that now. Do that. Where you can become your own boss, where you're making money while you're sleeping. We have the tools now to do this. the bottom line is that the things that are tempting us out here, we're pulled by a lot of other things that pulls us in one direction where we should be going in this direction. There's nothing wrong with having fun. I had fun. I partied. I did things, but I never let those things control me. I never let women control me. When I say women, in the sense of chasing women to control me as a young man, I didn't do drugs at that time. I didn't drink. You understand? So I made sure that I always had a level head, but I still knew how to have fun.
Right.
But I never let that slow my progress down because I positioned myself. My parents didn't have an education. And they said, if you don't want to do this type of work, take your ass to school and get an education. And that's what I did. And people, you know, and Victor's on here. And
I definitely want to get to his comment.
yeah, you can get to it. Is that you don't always have to go to school. You can find a trade and be successful and make right choices and decisions out here.
Right.
So, and then I want to get to a comment that's not on here that came to my Facebook. So Victor says, make sure your struggles are not self-inflicted. People will lie, cheat, and manipulate the truth and wonder why karma is knocking on the door. We block our blessings by doing others wrong. You can't be holy in public and devilish behind closed doors. God sees all.
Get a bell for that, bro. That's a good one.
Yep.
A good one. Definitely. On point, Vic. That's a good one, bro. Right on point.
Yeah.
So someone post this. They says, I'm gonna just read it how they have it. Says a lot of y'all saw Straw and had so much sympathy for the character and what she was dealing with, but can't seem to find that same care for the women in your actual life. That's deep.
I really don't know too many women like that.
I can speak to this. We tend to show compassion and some type of sympathetic part to outside people versus inside. I think that's part of our self-hatred for one another. I think that is part of, I'm not saying we totally hate ourselves, but it's like you can help other people. I've mentioned this before. You can go to your job and talk to your boss nice, but you come home and you talk to your husband and you talk to your wife like shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the self-hatred we have.
Yeah.
That's why that people have more compassion for this character, because when when it's in your house or in your home, it hits differently. It hurts. You don't want to see your person struggle, and you feel that you should push, or they should be able to pick themselves up, or like you said, Link, they made some bad choices that put them in that situation, that now you're angry that they're in that situation because they're bad choices.
Right.
That's why sometimes people are more sympathetic or empathetic with somebody that's outside their home than inside their home.
You're lying, bro. I've seen it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Link. What you said?
No, I was agreeing with him. I said, I ain't lying. I didn't see it up front in person.
Mm-hmm. My girl E.G. is on here. Hey, E.G., she says we've got to stop romanticizing relationships and even having children. We've got to teach our children the realness of both before they get into either.
I'm about to get my bifocals.
E.G. leave something off.
You know, E.G. is another person that makes you think. And and I hate to throw this out. When I say I hate to throw this out, because I like the E.G. to come back and then she can explain exactly what she's saying. We got to stop romanticizing relationships or even having children. I'm gonna stop with the relationships, because I don't see us romanticizing relationships. I don't even think we know. That's a lot of people just don't even understand what relationships. Not to say what relationships are, how to relate with one another. We don't even know how to talk to one another. So I don't even know how we romanticize in relationships, where we don't even know how to communicate, understand. We're not even seeing these examples in our household like we once did of a husband or a wife or man and a woman relating with one another. We're not even seeing that. So I don't even see how we're romanticizing that as a whole now, because we are in more broken homes now. Not to take away from those that are in these homes that are led by a single parent like yourself, my brother, that do tremendous work, do great jobs, and the children come out to be great people. But I don't see as a whole, like in yesteryear, how we're romanticizing relationships with so many people who are coming out of one-parent households.
Yeah.
So,
Ronnie, I got my
yeah,
Go ahead.
Link, he has a
Audition.
audition that he has to go to, so he's gonna have to leave us. Lincoln, thank you so much. It was so much fun having you on the show.
Oh yeah, next time we're gonna talk about some funny stuff and we will be laughing all day. That's my goal.
I know you'd be ready for that.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
Tyler I
baby.
was auditioning for a podcast position. Now let me
Yeah.
stop.
Thank you
Hey,
so
I'll
much.
take that too. I got a little time on my hand here and there.
I hear you, my brother. I hear you, my
Definitely going to
brother.
stay in touch with you. And we may be taking that trip to ATL, right, Fatine?
I definitely.
Come on
you
down.
know,
I'll set it up. We can come on set and enjoy your time on set.
You know
with
what?
me. So,
You know what? We riding in. We can just go. Just go. Get up and go.
what y'all got? A private jet? What y'all got?
Yeah, damn right, baby. We riding. We flying.
Shit, I'm in the wrong business then. I ain't
Thank
in the wrong business. I ain't do
You
what
in the
y'all
wrong
do.
gig, baby.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
We appreciate
Hey, let me ask you this real quick, Link. You
Yeah.
do stand up? Oh, you don't do comedian stuff?
I'm working on my comedy right now. I'm writing right now. I'm working with some people at Tyler Perry Studios trying to get on stage. So yeah, I got a couple of comedy guys there that's working with me. I'm gonna get it right
So
one day.
real-
One day you can see me pop up on the scene and I'm gonna be doing comedy.
Okay, so real quick, Earthquake is my cousin. And
Really?
Earthquake is my cousin. And Kim Coles, we went to school together, and brother Talent that is out there.
I like time.
Talent's that's my brother. I just had him on one
You
of
be
my
doing
shows
that, right?
recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my brother. That's we worked together in radio at 98.7 Kiss FM in New York back in the day. So
That's some good stuff, man. That's some good
yes,
stuff.
sir.
You might have to throw me a little alley-oop out there one day or
I
something.
got you, brother. Lincoln. I like you, man. I
Yes,
got
sir.
you.
He's good people. All
Yes.
right, Sing. I'll be talking to you. Thank
All right,
you.
appreciate you.
All
Yes,
right.
have a good
baby.
night. All
Cool.
right, bye.
Peace.
All right, Fatine, it's just you and I. So EG says, when I say romanticizing, I'm not talking about romance. I'm
I know
talking about idolizing of relationships are easy or automatic. That children are only a blessing, and you'll be able to magically to show somehow provide. Emotionally and financially.
I know she'll come back, and that's what I wanted, and that's clarity. That's clarity. That's why I didn't want to attack. I needed clarity on that, and I agree with that. I agree with when she says romanticizing relationships, looking at it from a more, she's not talking about idealism, but honestly looking at this from a more emotional, financially, looking at it from a realistic way.
Yeah.
Realistic way, and that make the EG right on point. So I just needed a little clarity on that.
Right. All right. Does there somebody had a comment up that I was looking for? Hey, Jason. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. Somebody made a comment. I meant to go back to it, but it was far up. But yeah, Fatine. So, like I said, you put out some strong content about the movie, and I just wanted to be clear that the post, once again, that I made, I wasn't saying that it was a bad movie, because you know how I feel about Tyler Perry and his movies, and I always say that his movies always have a great meaning behind it. You always get something from his movies.
Where did you see the bad? So since you said that, I can't let you paint that with a broad brush, because now we would be assuming, who do you consider a bad actor, or who did bad acting in this movie? Since you said that, so you got to give us an example.
I felt like some of the ones that was just thrown in there, like the people in the bank, some of them, I didn't feel. I mean, I know these aren't regulars. They probably was just, people that auditioned for that moment and he put them in. Like, I didn't feel, what's her name, and I really like her. Sherry. I like her. I met her in Vegas at the Steve Harvey Hoodie Awards. Very sweet person, Sherry Shepherd. I felt like she could have been a little stronger with hers. Tiana Taylor, at first I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And I think it was more of the wig that I was looking at than. I'm telling you, when I first watched the movie, it was I was like picking every little thing because I was tired, I was sleepy, it was just so much going on in the movie. I was like, okay, I can't deal with this. But yeah, those was the ones that I picked that I felt that wasn't giving it 100. Now, when Tiana Taylor was on the phone with Taraji, I felt like she was giving it her all. Because it felt like she was very passionate. It felt like this is something that she really went through in her real life. So I felt very that she was very passionate about what she was saying to Taraji about, the struggles when she was coming up, when she was 9 years old or something like that in the movie. But yeah.
It just made me feel. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just looked at it from. I just looked at it for what it presented and how it touched me. And, I do that with movies the same way. See, that's why, I'm a book reader. So for me, a good book, it's not get caught up in the book. I become part of the book. I'm there on the street when they shooting drugs or they shooting at somebody, I'm ducking behind the car. I get into it. As a good book, I'm into it. So I allow these movies when they're good, and even if they're not so good, I try to go with it and understand it. The movies that we see today is not as well written as movies like Imitation of Life. Imitation of Life is a tearjerker. Oh my God, that's a tearjerker. And this is a tearjerker that our parents and grandparents watched. Where people in the South, where everybody didn't have a television, people had to walk across the fields to watch Imitation of Life. And when Mahalia Jackson sang that funeral, and that girl came running, Mama, shoo. My daughters watched that at 8 years old and cried because they understood a mother that was, if anybody saw Imitation of Life, understand that mother was just so genuine. And her daughter was caught up in the perspective of being able to pass in society as a white woman and didn't want to live as a black woman because of black women, what we as black people had to endure in a racial society. And she didn't realize what she lost until her mother closed her eyes. That hit home with a lot of people. So for me, that's why when I looked at this movie, it brought me right back to Hanifa because of her struggles and to watch her suffer. Then it took me back to my parents, not as vivid, but it took me back to see people struggle and have to push through and don't complain about it or don't tell nobody. And then it made me reflect on myself. And then I'm too going through some other things that we all wrestle with in life, just the daily things of life, that it compounds and it brings out that emotion. A lot of people cried. They cried on this movie, but it touched them in so many different ways. They just didn't cry because of the movie. They cried because of their own experiences that they're feeling today or they felt in the past or going through.
Now, I didn't cry at all during the movie, but I did, see a lot of people posting, like I said earlier, that they cried the entire movie. But I didn't cry at all. Now, I'm going to tell you a movie I did cry on, and I'm not going to, stay on this because I want to get to E.G.'s comment. I cried on Emmett Till movie. Now, that was a sad movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. I mean, you got to realize, I invited Emmett Till's mother on our show. Emmett Till mother. So what you saw in the movie, Emmett Till's Miss Mamie Till Mobley Bradley, at that time, that was her whole name. She came on our radio show and talked about when she had to identify her son's body. She said how many times big her son's head. She said when she walked in to identify the body, she said she saw daylight on the other side. Y'all saw that in the movie. I heard that from the mother.
Mm.
So Mtume, Bob Slade, Bob Pickett that hosted the open line, and I was the producer, we all cried. Mtume never shut down on words. Couldn't speak. We had to go to commercial break. When Emmett Till mother. So when you cried on that movie, it touched me in the movie and I cried on that movie, but I cried in real life because we brought her in to talk about why she had an open casket and what she went through leading up to finding out that her son was killed and thrown in the river with a gin fan tied around his body.
Mm. So Iji says 2 parables my mama taught me. Number 1, marriage don't fix problems. It makes them official. Babies make them permanent. Number 2, a baby won't keep a man. It will run a man that didn't want to be there in the first place. Very true. Did you hear that, Fatim?
Yeah, 2 parables my mama taught me. Number 1, marriage don't fix problems. It makes them official. Babies make them permanent. Number 2, a baby won't
Very
keep
true.
a man. A baby won't keep a man. It will run a man.
That didn't want to be there in the first place. Facts. Yep. But see, my mom, they never had this kind of talk with me.
This is the first time I'm hearing those. This is the first time I'm hearing those parables. So I never heard
Yeah,
them.
like they never, but they're definitely true. Marriage don't fix problems. It makes them official. And if you're going into a marriage with problems already, no, it's not going to fix it. It's probably going to make it worse.
I think that
But that's another subject for another.
yeah, that is another subject, but I think it can go both ways. I think that those parables, there's truth to those parables. And I think that, as you just said, if you go into a marriage with problems, sometimes 2 heads are better than 1. And for instance, when I went in, let's just say I was bad with money management. And Hanifa, when I got with Hanifa, she was better with money management. So by us getting in there, that was my weakness. You understand? And then her weakness was, as she became an adult, she didn't have the support when she got hospitalized. So sometimes when you do come together and understand that when you come together, you know, you're moving together as a unit on goals that you build together, but you also still keep your individual goals as well. That's why you still grow individually and as a unit. And that's why people sometimes put all their goals into one basket and move one direction, and they lose their independency within the relationship. No, move as one, but still keep some independence there. Not selfishness, but independence. Because remember, we came in this world by ourselves, and most likely we'll go out by ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So what are your final thoughts, Fatim? What do you...
I think that, you know, I didn't know what I was going to say today. I know I went online, and one thing I will say to some of the younger brothers that I challenged, thank you, brothers. Thank you. Because when I challenged these younger brothers, and Tori knows this, one of the brothers I challenged, I heard he's a good artist out here, and I commended him. And I told him this was not personal because I didn't know him. And I complimented him there, but I told him, I totally disagree with your comment. And we had dialogue. And there was another young brother jumped in, and we had dialogue. And at the end, we came to an understanding that we're about our people. And we realize that sometimes we have to agree to disagree, but we don't disparage one another, and we don't tear down one another. And we realize we're all in this together, and we need one another. Mm-hmm. That's where because we talk too many times, we talk at the young people instead of talking with them. And I didn't go in there bullheaded. As I knew everything, I listened to them, they listened to me, and we came to that. So my final thoughts is that I think we all can pull something from this movie. If you can't, then that's fine. It's understandable. You may not be able to relate. You may not pull something from it. But this is something that I've seen that has become an explosion on social media amongst us as a people. Tyler Perry touched something in the Black family over this weekend with this movie. he touched something. The same thing when he did the movie with the army movie with the black women. You understand? But this one was different. This one to me was more relatable because it was more of a situation of living your day-to-day life. An army movie is those that in service. Some of us never been in the service. You understand? But we still understand what a black woman and a black man has to go through in this society.
One question.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Before I get to my closing remarks. I think you said in your on your post, I think you said this was Tyler Perry's best movie. Do you believe that?
I think this is Tyler Perry's best movie that, as I use that word, shock and awe. I think this was his best movie that touched people, that made them react. Is it his best quality movie? No. No, it's not his best quality movie. But I think this is his best movie that got a reaction out of people and got people talking. And we're talking about this movie. But quality-wise, no, this is not his best movie.
And so you think this one got more feedback than the one with Kelly Rowland and the guy?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely think that. I'll be honest with you. A lot of people thought the Kelly Rowland movie fell short. A lot of people anticipated, we feel with, you know, I mean, the sex scene with the paint and all that. Whoopie, you know me, I'm into sex like that. But I ain't never did no paint. But, you know, I just thought the movie fell short somewhat. But I liked the movie, but I think it fell short. I thought Acrimony was a very good movie. Acrimony was a very good movie.
Very good.
By Tyler Perry.
But I think going back, I think Diary of a Mad Black Woman was very
That's good. That was another great movie. Another great movie where a woman was going through domestic abuse and violence and was able to pull herself out of that. You understand what I'm saying?
My favorites.
And unfortunately, the man got what he deserved. The man got what he deserved because he was dishing that out. He got what he deserved, you know. And real quick, let me just say, John, you know, to John McCullough, again, prayers and condolences to you on the transition of your mother, my brother.
Yes.
I see you came on, and you know, John can always say something witty and this, that, and other. But me and John and Victor had went out one night, and then Victor had left, and me and John just stood in the parking lot and talked. And very insightful, a person that, of course, loved his mother and did so much for his mother, brother. So you did the job. Your mother did the job raising you, and you did the job when she needed you, my brother. You didn't fall down on the job. So I salute you, my brother. I salute you, a black man to another black man. Yes. Job well done, brother.
Absolutely, John. Keeping you in our prayers. Most definitely. You know, I don't have much to say as far as closing. I do want to say, can we just love one another? And not even, you know, looking at race, but can we just love one another? Like there's a lot of people that we don't know that are struggling in silence. And people out here being mean for no reason, going back to the movie, like the manager on the movie, how he was talking down on her, and the lady at the apartment complex where she was staying, you know, telling her ish gonna be beside on the side of the road. And can we just, and not talking about the movie, because we know the movie is a movie, but we can say that stuff like this really does happen in real life. Like people so quick with the tongue and don't care how they talk to people. And can we just love one another? Like, I wish I could just snap my finger and everybody just have a change of heart. But just be mindful. That's just what I want to say. Be mindful of how you treat people, because you never know what that person is going through at that moment. And you never know if what you say to that person will make them snap. So be mindful of how you treat people out here in this world, because you never know what they're going through. And I'm gonna say that and leave it there. Team, thank you so much. This has been an awesome show. We thank our brother Lincoln for coming on and hanging out with us. He's doing big things. Um, Congratulations to him once again. And thank you to all of you who watched tonight, all of you who left comments. We appreciate you. Tangy Tea of Life, as I said at the beginning of the show, is no telling what day of the week. You know, normally it's Tuesdays. On Tuesday night, but as you can see, it's a Monday. So we may be popping up if things are going on, whether it's on the news, in the community, wherever, and we feel like we need to jump on. We jump on and go at it. But we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Please do us a favor, go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Did I say that right? I'm so proud of myself. But thank y'all so much. Thank you, Thomas. All of you for watching. We appreciate y'all so much. Until next time, take care. Love up on one another. Thank you for Team for hanging out with me, my brother, WPLS Radio Station, New York. Appreciate you.
You too. Love you too, sis.
Yes. Until next time, guys. Enjoy life. For Team, we have to get together. We need to go somewhere. If we take that trip to Atlanta, I'm so serious. Like, let's do it. Enjoy life. All right, guys. Have a great night. Talk to you later. Bye. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.